HOA, Karen demanded. I removed my son's wheelchair ramp, so I made it her biggest public mistake. She was standing on my porch, clipboard in one hand, sunglasses pushed up like she was about to interrogate me. Behind her, my son's wheelchair ramp, and in front of her, me, holding the door open, trying to keep my voice steady.
This ramp,
she said,
doesn't match the aesthetic standards of the neighborhood.
Then she pointed to a printed section of the HOA bylaws.
Unapproved exterior modifications. Sloped additions must not exceed 12 inches of rise per linear foot. Yours does.
I blinked. My son, 8 years old, born with cerebral palsy, sat beside me. He didn't understand bylaws. He just knew this ramp was the only way he could get to school by himself. Let's rewind. When Evan was born, the doctors told us he'd never walk. They were right. But they were wrong about how far he'd go. He's brilliant, curious, obsessive about dinosaurs and pizza crust. And every morning, for the last 2 years, he's waited by the window for the school bus. When it arrives, he wheels himself out over that ramp, proud, beaming. It's not just a ramp. It's his bridge to the world. So when HOA Karen showed up that morning waving bylaws and threats, it felt like something snapped inside me. She told me the ramp was too visible from the street, that it lowered curb appeal, and that it wasn't properly submitted to the Architectural Review Committee. I told her it was installed professionally, followed city code, and I had paperwork from the building inspector. She replied,
That may be enough for the city, but this community has higher standards.
Within days, I received an official HOA violation notice and a $200 fine. A week later, another letter. Remove the ramp by the 15th or face escalating penalties. I appealed. The appeal hearing was chaired by Karen. She interrupted me after 30 seconds and ruled against me without a vote. That night, I sat with Evan and watched him build a Lego bus ramp with his tiny fingers. And I thought, he deserves better than this. So I decided to fight. Not with yelling, not with threats, but with exposure. I wrote to the local paper, then the city, then a disability rights nonprofit. I told them the story, a community that fined a father for giving his disabled child access to the world. It blew up. By the end of the week, we were on the local news. Karen refused to speak to reporters, but the footage of her reading the violation aloud while Evan watched quietly from his chair was enough. The story went viral, and with it came attention. From city council, from the ADA, from lawyers. Turns out, HOA rules cannot override federal accessibility law. Not only was I within my rights, Karen and the HOA were potentially violating the Americans with Disabilities Act. The HOA board scrambled. At the next meeting packed with neighbors, media, and advocates, Karen was removed as HOA chair. A formal apology was issued. All fines were dropped. Evan didn't care about any of that. He just cared that the ramp stayed. And it did. I installed a small metal plaque on the rail. It says, "Built with love, protected by law, used every day by a boy who never gave up." Karen still lives across the street. But now, when Evan rolls down the ramp and waves, she just quietly pulls her blinds shut.